What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Awakening World. I'm your host, Love Coach Scott Katamas. You know, we've been doing this show for 5.5 years, and we've had so many extraordinary people on the show. And we even have an edition that we do every 6 or 8 weeks called Authors That We Love. But I want to share honestly that my absolute favorite living author is with us tonight. And he's someone who's touched the hearts of so many. And tonight we are blessed to be honoring and having a tribute for our beloved Andrew Harvey. We're going to hear from Andrew. He is with us. That's him in meditation and reflection, waving at us. And we are going to hear from Andrew later on the show. But before we do, we have a lot of friends and colleagues of Andrew's who want to share with him how he's touched their lives. And that includes Deborah Giusti, my co-founder of the Global Peace Tribe, who got all of this started with me 5.5 years ago. And Elaine Kalila Doty is with us tonight. And I know she and Andrew have a most special connection. And from the connection field, we have both Julie Kroll and Teresa Collins, if I can find Teresa. She's here somewhere. And we also are going to hear later on in the program, we're going to hear from Sandra DeCastro Buffington. And joining us a little bit later will be Stephen Dinan, Swami Beyondananda, and we have other special friends who are going to be joining us. It's going to be a very extraordinary evening. As always, we love to start our show with my co-pilot, our house musical artist, beloved Omashar.
That would be me, and namaste, everybody, and welcome everybody watching on our streaming partners. And for some reason, I was mentioning in the green room before we came here that I felt full of this night before we've even started. And I didn't realize that Andrew, who I only met through Scott physically or virtually physically a couple of years ago, has been with me pretty much my whole spiritual awakening life, starting with the celebration of Rumi book. What was it, The Way of Creation or something? And my most recent one, of course, is Engoldenment. And dude, you rock, brother. And so that is my soliloquy at the moment. I feel that you're a deep brother. I've been to India many times and know that it is instilled within you the spirit of India and the amazing awakening that's happening there. I won't go any further into it, but I'm going to play a song called "This Beautiful Garden," and I'm just going to get my ducks in a row. Just give me 8 seconds as I change mic source. Got that, and we're going to change this one. Excuse me. And then we're going to go back to here. All right. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, I seem to remember the time when we all were happy and my family, we all were together singing harmonies, my sisters and brothers. I often dream that we're gathered together and we all live in this beautiful garden by a river with my favorite flowers and the trees there, I know them by name. So if you'd like a new life, here it is, here it is, here it is. If you'd like a true life, here it is, here it is, here it is. We all are born of the great sun. We all are beloved golden ones. Do you remember? You're part of the story. Do you remember that you are the glory? So if you'd like a new life, here it is, here it is, here it is. If you'd like a true life, here it is, here it is, here it is.
Thank you, Omashar. And I love that video that you put together just for Andrew to bring him back to his beloved India. And
My
thank you,
pleasure.
Desiree, for all that you provide.
Thank you, Desiree.
If you want a true life, here it is. What wonderful words, and thank you so, so much.
It was so fun, Andrew, revisiting that video, because what happened was I was the one that live streamed it on the time when it was on Scott's show. And I suddenly remembered, hang on a minute, I got Andrew's video here, and I went through it and just cut out a few pieces of it. And I was just taken there. Thank you.
And Benares.
Hello.
The whole thing. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you
you.
so much. Such a beautiful, beautiful beginning. Thank you.
And Omashar will be back later on in the show. There's so many messages in the chat box, Andrew. I'm just going to read a few because people are remembering their times with you all over the world. Paige was with you in Colorado. Dr. Laura has been with you in Chicago. Dia Therese with you in Boise. Marianne with you in the Chartres week. And she's going to see you in Paris on October 1st. Dorina Joy is coming to us all the way from Ecuador. Sherry Anderson sharing about meeting you through the Global Peace Tribe. Carol Griot meeting you at a Sufi workshop in Massachusetts at Kripalu, and on and on and on. I'm going to read one message, though, that sums it up beautifully. This is from Carol Craig. And Carol writes, I'm going to remove myself. 3 key teachings that I got from Andrew Harvey. And for anybody who's watching who don't know Andrew, this is a brilliant little consolidation of an extraordinary man's life. But these are the teachings that Carol received. Inner transformation must inspire outer transformation. Contemplation and activism equals a path of service. If your spirituality doesn't address climate crisis, poverty, and injustice, it is incomplete. And thank you.
Thank you. No.
Well, Andrew, there's so many wonderful people that wanted to be here and weren't able to make it. But there's one very special friend of yours that, although she couldn't be with us in person, she has joined us in the ways that we do this now, by video. So give me one moment, because I got to cue it up. I had it here a moment ago. There we go. Here is someone I know you love very much, who loves you.
Hey, everybody. I don't know what words would best express my admiration for Andrew Harvey, but I say this as someone who's known him for decades. And his consistency, his power, his intellect, his intelligence, his wisdom, his humor, his love, his compassion. I don't know. I think the more time goes on, both in our individual lives and in our society, it becomes obvious that at a time when there are so many negative voices out there and so many negative forces, when there's somebody who's the real thing and speaks with power as well as grace and speaks into the heart of the matter as he does with his conversation around sacred activism, support that person, acknowledge that person, be there for that person. And Andrew's been through some tough times, and I think it's great that we're all here for him tonight. And I hope he feels everybody's arms around him. And I hope a lot of money comes in to support him at this time of real horror, in his own personal life. He has so much that he can continue to give, and we don't want him to be in a place where just life is so rough in its sort of worldly particulars because of the misfortune that he's had with his fire, etc. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to tell you how I feel about Andrew Harvey. And I hope all of us feel very motivated tonight and inspired to do for him what all of us would want someone to do for us if we had a personal tragedy in our own lives. God bless you all, and love you, Andrew.
Marianne has always been a huge inspiration for me, and I loved her very much the first time I saw her, and we've been inseparable in hearts. Bless. Thank you so much, my darling Marianne, and I'm too moved to speak more at this moment.
Well, that's good, because we've got lots of other people here to share their love for you. And next up on our docket is the co-founder of Global Peace Tribe, my frequent colleague, our beloved Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott. And it's such an honor that you asked me to be on the show to pay tribute, give support, and transmit big love to one of the most amazing teachers, luminaries, and guides of this time, Andrew Harvey. I'm also honored to be among incredible luminaries that you're going to have on this show. And truly, Andrew is one of my favorite spiritual teachers that I've been following for a long time. The moment I first heard him speak about 20 years ago, I realized he's speaking exactly to the cutting edge of the heart and soul of what my heart and soul is realizing and integrating right now, always right at the time. But not only me, he speaks to the mass soul tribe of what we are experiencing, what we are learning, what we are evolving through, and supports us to the next level of the awakening of our soul tribe. And the soul tribe I'm talking about is the soul tribe that this show is based on, the Awakening World. And all these souls are a massive soul tribe that have come to the planet at this time for the awakening that we've been experiencing for actually over 50 years now, level by level by level, and is now escalating more than we could ever imagine. And Andrew's personal experience, his wisdom, his knowledge always addresses the cutting edge of what we need to hear. And he involves himself deeply, personally in these transmissions. So we really get to understand the level of passion, pain, and presence that comes from these experiences. And he tends to show up in my world exactly when I need to hear something to punctuate it as the universe is speaking to me. And I'm talking about all these life evolutions and consciousnesses, evolutions that we've had over the last 20 years. The first time I think I saw him, he was talking about the mass awakening 20 years ago and the ascension. I think it was one of the first times I heard this word, and my soul went, yes, that's what I'm feeling in me. That's what I'm here for. That's what my whole life has been about. And he spoke to that very clearly. And then he starts speaking about the divine feminine and his alliance with Mary Magdalene and how she is here coming through all of us to be a teacher. And yes, that's what I was experiencing. That's what I felt. And he articulated that for me. I even saw him in Italy, cosmically ran into him and his whole workshop group as he was going to a church that really honored the divine feminine and doing ritual there. And then in 2012, I remember hearing him and he was saying, no, it's not about that the world's ending. We are shifting to the next level. We are here to build the new earth. And yes, I heard that and I said, yes, that's what it's about. And so many other teachers were working with that as well. And then, of course, sacred activism, which is so important now because all of us need to dig in, have our gifts come out now. It's showtime. And it's when all of us come forward in our sacred activism that we are going to unite and transform this world. And we know that. And he is the cheerleader for all of us for that. And then again, he does it again. He goes through another horrendous experience that anyone could ever go through in life, going through the radical initiation of losing all your possessions and one of your most beloved family members, his cat, Jade, in an instant. And there's nothing you could do about it. You can't put it on rewind. The world is going into a dark night. You can't change it. You can't choose something else because it is what it is. You have to really use all the tools in your toolbox, accept it, learn from it, evolve from it, and rise as the phoenix. That's the only choice we have. And as a spiritual luminary, you have to walk your talk. There's nothing else you can do. And what he went through is not unusual because all of us are going through it now on some level. Just Andrew is one of the bigger spiritual teachers, so he goes through some of the bigger lessons. That's kind of how it works. But I myself have been going through it.
Yes.
I got diagnosed with breast cancer a year ago, and the solution that the hospital gave me was a double mastectomy. And I did not want to be deformed for the rest of my life. And at that time, my mom went into hospice. And then recently, my best friend, my cohort, my spiritual husband of 20 years, Jeffrey Adelheid, transitioned. So I understand. We all understand. We all have similar stories. So again, Andrew, you're singing my song. You're sharing what we're all going through. And as I listen to how you share what you've gone through, you shared a few things that are really true for me that I want to share with everyone, that are deep teachings of going through this process where life just hands you a huge curveball and you've got to evolve and transfigure through it. So the 4 things that were really important to me is you've got to learn to receive. Because many of us on the spiritual path who came in with a lot of gifts, we love to give. We feel empowered, we feel accomplished, we feel like we've done something great. But the truth is, it's very important to learn how to deeply receive, which is very vulnerable. It exposes that you're not perfect, and you have to admit that you need help. And the truth is that so many miracles and gifts and help from the divine and our ascended masters and all the guides helping us is coming into us nonstop. And if we don't turn our receiving channels on so we can be total conduits of the divine, we're missing out. We're not allowing the full power and gifts that are meant to come through us as we totally receive to come through us so we can give at a whole new level. And this includes when you're sick, like for me having breast cancer. If I hadn't totally turned on my receiving channels, I would not have abundance that allowed me to get the information and the support for healing and to receive all the love from the community, which I know is a big part of why I've healed my cancer 50%. And I have that documented with one of my spiritual guides. Number 2, understand that everything that happens to you has been arranged by your higher self. It's for your evolution and your growth. And if you're on the spiritual path, you can't take, I'll have that, but I won't have that. All of it, you've got to accept because it's coming from God, source, and spirit. And if you're really, truly committed to the awakening, you need to embrace everything that happens to you, fully embracing as the cauldron of transfiguration. The more you commit to this evolution transfiguration, the more that every cell of your being can embrace and transforms to a whole new level that you never expected, never knew possible. And that's true for me, and I know Andrew has expressed that as well. And that's cool, as well as losing a family member. And so the next one, and then everything that happens, the number 3, everything that happens into your life happens so you can create more good in the world. Okay, so having breast cancer, I would say, caused me to go into an incredible up-leveling because I had to fine-tune my health, my education, how I thought, breathed, my spiritual healing, my trauma work, all that. I thought I'd been doing all that work, but no, having breast cancer, I'm like really on target now. And I'm going to share all that because it's an epidemic now. You know, chronic health disease is an epidemic and we need to understand it. And I'm understanding why so many people are getting cancer and what happens with that. And if you listen to Andrew, he's got bigger plans than he's ever had that are going to be manifesting. And he's getting support from his community to do it instead of being the Lone Ranger, just having the idea and going out there and making it happen. So it all turns around. And the last one is having a beloved family member pass, which is probably one of the most difficult. Andrew with his beloved cat, me with my beloved Jeffrey. And we have to know that a soul picks their time no matter what. And I heard Andrew say that when he'd been communicating with Jade, and I've also been communicating with Jeffrey using my mediums to talk directly to him. It's been amazing. It was her time and it was Jeffrey's time. Even though I didn't agree with it, it was Jeffrey's time. And I got to understand why he left at this time. And because the veil is so thin at this time, they're not leaving. They're just transitioning into another form. I feel Jeffrey as present with me as he ever has. And I know Andrew has said he feels that too with his beloved cat.
Yes.
And even stronger, Jeffrey was such an incredible, wise, spiritually powerful person.
Yes.
I feel him helping me more, even more than he did before. So that can happen with our beloved family. And there's so much more teachings and so much more, Andrew, that you're giving to us. So I want to thank you, Andrew, for being the way shower, for being the guide, for being a huge, big mouthpiece of spirit and articulating the important conscious stages of evolution that we're going through in this amazing journey that we're all in together by popping onto the planet all together at this showtime of awakening of Mother Earth and what we're doing. And modeling what it shows to show up when something devastating like that happens. So I'm going to show up with my love for Andrew and make a donation right now to your GoFundMe because I totally support you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So much love.
Thank you, Deborah. And that's a perfect segue.
So wonderful.
A perfect segue because we do want people, this is a tribute and it's also important for us to support Andrew. I see right at the top, Marianne Williamson just donated $200. And I know that a lot of you are I'm going to see a lot of your names here now that we're sharing it. I just put it into the chat box. You know, Andrew, we go out to about 150 Facebook groups and pages. So
Wow.
it's people watching all over on all these different YouTube channels and humanities team. So I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of our names, including mine. I'm going to donate in a moment. I know Deborah's about to donate. And for any of you watching on Facebook or YouTube, just go to GoFundMe.com. If you put in Andrew Harvey, boom, it comes right up. This was put together by Stephen Dinan. Stephen's going to join us in about half an hour. So we're going to hear from Stephen. And a lot of people have been asking, because I am getting messages from people going, well, who is Andrew Harvey? I've never heard of this guy. So if you want to learn more about Andrew, go to his website. And his website is his name, andrewharvey.net. And I'm going to very, very briefly scroll through an extraordinary man's life. You can learn all about his amazing time growing up in India and the double cultures of aristocratic British and Hindu. And that started this amazing transformation of this man into somebody who could walk in so many different worlds. In fact, my favorite book by Andrew is called A Walk with Four Different Masters, four different guides. And he walks in so many different worlds. Went to Oxford, of course, studied and, was honored right there. And then Rumi. Rumi became an extraordinary part of Andrew's life. And a reminder that the best-selling poet in America is the poet Rumi. A 12th century Islamic gay mystic is the best-selling poet in America. Now, there's got to be a reason for that, and Andrew has helped us understand that through his books and his writings. He collaborated on an international book. I'm sure many of us have it in our library, the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. And speaking of books, this is certainly the book that changed my life, Andrew. I've probably bought this book a dozen times for different friends and people along the way. Andrew literally coined the phrase sacred activism. And in this time, and we're going to hear Andrew speak about it tonight, but in this time of darkness, we all need to really embrace our sacred activism. And I love that Andrew's book about sacred activism is called The Hope. And that is so important. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. So you can learn much, much more about him. There have been many films, many books, and definitely go to andrewharvey.net and get some of the wonderful resources he provides. And we are going to continue with two amazing women that I love. Julie Kroll is with us, and Collins is with us. And they are both the co-founders of the Connection Field, which is bringing a lot of hope and joy and goodness to all of us. And so take it away, ladies.
Yay. Oh, Andrew, I'm so happy
Lovely
to be
see
here.
you.
It's so good to see you too. Yes. I didn't prepare anything to write because how do you prioritize what even to say here? And I love that Scott's went through your body of work because you've meant so much to me on my journey. The Dr. Julie Show, All Things Connected. I think you're probably the most number of shows guests I've ever had. Like it would be, we had every book that come out. It's like, Andrew, let's do a conversation. And then it would be like something happening in the world. And I'd say, Andrew, let's have a conversation. So back, I think in 2013, and man, I think probably a dozen or more shows that we've had together and did some private video things. There's several things that I just want to really honor you for, Andrew, and really bring just to everyone's awareness is that you're not just this prolific writer, teacher, poet, but this deep mystical voice inside of you really has come with such bravery and such radical fierceness on the planet. And I just want to share, I've never shared this with you, but before I knew you in person, last year, I got asked, what are your 10 most top spiritual books ever of all time, like that influenced you? And I went to my bookshelf and the number one, Son of Man. I remember picking this up in my late 30s, going, finally, someone's talking about the mystical Christ in a way that we can breathe it, live it, and not fear doctrine and theology and dogma. It's just like, be this now. And I love this. I love this. I just want to show you, like, look, it's still on my bookshelf with all kinds of yellow ink. Like it looks like I prepare for my podcast, right? But that book was my number one, Andrew. So thank you so much for that. And then you've also, besides just being this, Direct Path, all of those early books and this deep spiritual voice, spiritual activism is amazing. But you've also, for me in my life, you connected me with so many people that really made a difference. You introduced me to Monica Sharma, Carolyn, and Jill and Scylla, and like so many people. And you're like, you need to meet them and we need to get their message out and you really influenced a big, large body of work by integrating people and bringing more human touch into this spiritual journey. And so I just want to thank you for bringing this divine human forward. And now is our time. I'm so looking forward to collaborating and supporting all of your next chapter in
Thank you,
this,
Thomas.
yes, this Phoenix moment, because now is the time for us to bring the divine, the embodied divine human forward in sacred activism. It's like, okay, we're not talking about it anymore. It is time. And by the way, I had a fire when I was a young child too. Complete, total loss. Yeah, when I was probably 12 or 13. So just sharing that. Yeah.
Bless you, my darling. So
Mhm.
happy for our friendship. And I know it will dance along until we both die at the same moment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bless you, Judy.
I love these stories. I love these stories so much. And I love, Julie, that there's such a lineage that we kind of share. And so, Andrew, I met you the first time in 2024 at Chartres Cathedral. Barbara Marx Hubbard was sick at the last minute, and they sent me in her place. And I was like this young girl from Hawaii wearing the wrong clothes in Chartres Cathedral. And we had Carolyn Mace and Lynn Bell and Apila and Jim and you. And I ended up going for 7 years with you guys. I ended up going the whole time. And I was trying to find a picture in the center of the labyrinth because I have one of you by yourself in the center of the labyrinth. And what I remember most, Genoa, and making sure
Wow.
everything is beautiful. And there was all in our little plays that we would do in the courtyard. You were such an instigator of play, I remember. And I also remember that as kind of a newbie in this kind of group of some real heavy hitter, wonderful people on the planet, that you made me feel so at home and
Oh,
so
darling.
comfortable. Like Carolyn Mace, she loved to give me a hard time to make sure I was the real deal, right? And everybody had their little thing. But
That's Carolyn.
you always just had this playfulness that allowed me to have my playfulness be okay. And then the combination of, because I was with Barbara, our crisis is a birth. And that's what you said when you first came on today before we got on the call with everyone around what just occurred for you, what you feel like's happening on the planet right now, that we're in that moment where there is a shared moment of pain. There is going to be something that's going to cause us to actually wake up because that's how life does it. It brings a system far from equilibrium. The everything gets shaky. The old has to break apart, and then the new needs to come. But we have to grieve the old. We have to learn how to let go and let something new come. And you've been saying that, and you've been sharing it. And I feel the embodiment of it. I think that's what's happening for all of us. We had this idea, our crisis is a birth. We had this idea that there was an
That's it.
happening. And then we had experiences that helped us to start breathing and believing it a little bit more. And now it's so in our cells because we're in it all the way. And there's no way out. And we know that it's coming. And I just want to celebrate you from that moment that you made me feel safe and you made me feel welcome and that you inspired everyone there to have joy while we were facing crisis. That's what I remember most about you and love about you. And yeah, bless you, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Look, I got
God.
a Jen Moss silk up on the
Yeah.
wall.
Oh, she's so. Talk about joy. Wow.
How can I?
Joy is the power. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you had that fire. And I'm so sorry that you lost your little kitty. I know what that would be like for me. So I just want to hold you in my heart and just feel that, let that all be present. And then also know that we're all here to support you with whatever's next. And thank you,
Thank you so
Scott, for
much.
inviting us to do that. And I'm going to take a minute to donate. And yeah, keep shining because the mother has your heart and she always has and she always will. And she's
Yes,
never
yes.
going to stop, ever, ever, ever.
Mm.
Oh, oh, thank you. Mm.
Never, ever, ever.
Ever, ever, ever.
I want to share with Andrew and our entire audience that Julie and Teresa have created something very special called the Connection Field. And it's where a lot of us are gathering. You know, we all gather together on Wednesday and Saturday nights through the Awakening World, but we're all gathering now through the Connection Field as well. And they just launched this wonderful program, Catalyst, which I went to, is on Tuesday, September 9th. And it's an extraordinary group of people. There's all sorts of events going on. The Love Infusion Hour on Fridays, regular meditations with Kali J. So I want to encourage everybody, if you have not signed up yet and joined the Connection Field, go to connectionfield.net, connectionfield.net. And is there anything that either of you want to say about what's going on with the Connection Field?
Well, Scott, you called it Catalyst, which is a good name, but it's called the Catapult.
The catapult, you're right.
Catapult. And
Love catapult. That's it.
yes, you're in the catapult right now, Andrew, and you're like so far ahead. Like it's like boom, and here we are. It really is the time on the planet. And we were talking about this this time earlier, Andrew, and it's like from my research and from my intuition, but so many of us are talking about, not only is it the ancient wisdom traditions that are saying now's our time, right? Prophecy, indigenous traditions, but also the astrology is
Very
coming
much
now
so.
going, this is different. It's different. It's not like another,
It's
this is the time.
unprecedented. This nothing has never happened before.
And it's never happened before. And then the human readiness. So those are like the three strands of convergence now of we are so ready. Humanity is so ready, looking at what's happening around us. Now is this time for this catapult. So we're going through a 4-month journey, Andrew. And
Wow.
I want you to come with us. Like
I
we'll
love it.
get you into one of those portals. We're doing
Of
5
course.
portals. Release is the first one. Release grief. We did that on 9/9. It began on a 9/9/9, and this is a 9-year. And we're going through a 1/1/1 in a 1 year with all of this powerful astrology. So we do release, then we're doing remembering our divinity, remembering the codes, remembering the design, the blueprint. And then we're doing embodiment, which Teresa just mentioned. You know, we're now all moving into this embodiment. And then we're aligning in December, aligning not only with our systems and structures, realigning to this new divinity, but also aligning with the stars and aligning with what's happening so that we can come out in 2026
That's
and
so
really emerge.
important.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's-
So
Aligning is the real one now, isn't it?
yes, yes, yes.
And we're doing it as a community for real, you know, because we have been talking about it for a long time and we have been having experiences and we have been kind of opening to believe it, but now we got to walk our belief, right? So we're inviting a community to move through these portals with us to really spend this month
That's
releasing
wonderful.
what's come before and then embodying what we believe and aligning with the aliveness of the world and knowing that we're heading into some rough times. So if as a community, we can choose to open to what's emerging inside of us, that we're going to have a better chance to navigate these challenges like your fire.
And to help each other, really,
and to help each
practically,
other.
Yeah.
because it's going to get very gritty, raw. Here I am, standing here, but many of you are going to be here too, where I am.
Yeah.
And your compassion today will bring compassion to you. We've got to get real about what's coming and be really prepared to strip ourselves and give to each other. I've done it for years because that's my nature. I know many people out there have done it. I know I find myself in need of it. We're all going to be facing enormous difficulties. And if we have a community committed to passionate love in action, then nothing will break us.
Nothing will stop.
Andrew, you said something really important. That the two pieces of it, of the stripping. The one thing is that this is all about choices. Like we're saying, we're choosing this, and every portal is a choice to step through, to choose alignment, to choose. But what you said was the stripping is we're saying the era of separation is done. It's over. This is a completion of completion. We're moving into the unitive age. We're done. And so we're consciously choosing to say, no more. We're going to consciously choose to
I
do
don't
this
think we're
routine.
choosing, we're being driven by the divine into it. And we think we know what it is, but actually we wouldn't choose it if we did know because it's too extreme.
Yes.
Our
Yes.
soul is choosing it.
Yes. We're
And
choosing the readiness of it. Yes.
yes,
Yes. We're
yes,
choosing to say,
yes,
okay, we're here.
yes. We're
Let's,
here,
we're
and
here.
then it happens, and then you wonder why you chose it, but then you get to find out, and you're so grateful because it's so much more amazing than you could ever have imagined. It's more terrible and more amazing. That's been my experience, and I'm sure it's been yours, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're
And we need
choosing
each
not
other
to
now
resist.
because it's simply not doable alone. We can't do it alone now.
Right. Yeah, we
Oh,
can't.
anyway, shut up, Andrew. But how lovely
No.
that we're doing this.
No.
Encourage everybody, please take this gorgeous journey with these two wise and amazing and skilled people who have spent their lives really trying to help people join the evolutionary journey. That's the only game in town now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew. We love you so much.
I'll be there in any way you want.
Mhm.
And to go straight into the catapult, go to imaginalsouls.net. It's not .com, it's imaginalsouls.net. And that's where you can learn all about it. It just began. And I was blessed to be there on Tuesday when it launched with over 200 people. And it's a wonderful group of people. And the speakers, the presenters, they're all our favorites. So thank you, Julie.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
So much work of every kind has gone into this. Wonderful. Congratulations.
I just donated too. Everybody, let's just give what we can. It's so important.
Absolutely.
Coming around. Yeah. Thank
Well,
you.
speaking of donations, people are donating, and I'm really proud. I'm going to actually acknowledge some of our wonderful people that have just donated, because the donations are flying in. All kind of started with Marianne Williamson. So thank you to Carol Gilo, Gary Bedham,
Thank you, Daddy. Thank you,
Nicolette,
Daddy.
Emily, myself, Carol Simus, Joanne Brem,
Wow.
Deborah Giusti, Jerry Anderson, Sue Barnum. Some guy named
So,
Anonymous keeps coming in over and over. And it all started with Marianne 1 hour ago. So let's keep those donations.
so sweet.
And again, anybody watching on Facebook or YouTube, just go to GoFundMe and then put in Andrew Harvey and it'll click right in.
Lovely.
Well, Andrew, you're a big personality. And you're
Sorry.
I always say that Andrew could read the yellow pages and make it interesting. But our next guest is someone who matches you in her passion and her ability to just make life epic. And so it's my pleasure that she was able to join us.
Oh my God.
Elaine Kalila Dodi.
Hello, my darling.
Hello, my darling. How lovely to see
Oh
you.
my gosh, how bizarre and wild and
I
wonderful.
know. Not sitting in your garden, but doing this here. How wonderful.
I know. Well, what a pleasure, darling. I want to start, first of all, by extending my arms around you and giving you a huge hug. And what I want to share about Andrew is, yes, of course, we all know he's a brilliant scholar, mystic, writer, talker, passionate mouthpiece of the divine. And what I know about Andrew is he is a damn fine human. He really has the spirit of a damn fine human in his heart. What I have learned from Andrew through having just been in his company and been next to you, and just with the laughter and the tears and the ways in which we've been able to share, my darling, is your humanity is so beautiful. And your willingness to allow yourself to feel the terror and to feel the beauty in the one moment, and to feel the humor and the desecration and all of it in the ecstasy of what you are able to have the breadth and space for in yourself, is where I am inspired by. You truly know how to be a friend. And I can say that because you have been a deep soul friend to me this year, particularly in my dark night of the soul. Jebra, you talked about your illness. I've also been, for the last 4 years, on this epic journey with my health and my wellness. And I am still in it. We are still clearing and detoxing. But Andrew, you really came into my life at a moment where I was really dark. I was really in it, and you were too. And we met around this moment of what I was calling the Magdalene pathway through the apocalypse. And it is in the Magdalene heart that we meet, my love. That is what is true. We are both fierce versions of the Magdalene. And I did have a moment of sitting with you in meditation earlier on today, calling you forth. And I wanted to share this that came through.
Oh, darling.
I was feeling into the soul imprint of the one known as Andrew Harvey. And this is what came. Lion of the Sacred Heart, scribe of the mystical flame. Andrew comes from the Greek word Andreas, meaning manly, courageous, and strong. But its root, in the esoteric sense, comes from Andrew, who speaks of the inner strength, the strength of the one who dares to walk into the fire in order to bring back the light. It's the name of one who chooses to love over comfort, truth over safety, a spiritual warrior who's learned that the greatest revolution is the revolution of the heart. He walks not as one who is a fighter, but one who is a lover, fierce, articulate, and undaunted. Andrew walks with Christ and Kali in each palm, a mystic of paradox and a lion who weeps. And then we go to your last name, Harvey, my love. And it means battle-worthy, the blazing iron, the ardent. This brings you the fire and the edge, my love, a legacy of those who will not only withstand the fierce battle, but who are forged by it. It's the name of sacred endurance, of one who has walked the burning path of the inner initiation and emerged as a keeper of sacred transfiguration. A name that speaks of one who drinks from the grail and then shouts its truth from the mountaintops. That is who I know you to be. And I am so honored to get to walk beside you. And I know that there are many weavings and co-creations and blessed unions to happen along the way. But truly, my love, you've reached out a hand of such tenderness to me in moments where I have felt really bereft. And for that, there is no true words I can speak, but to say that my heart loves you. And I see you as, yes, this amazing being in the world, but I also see you as the brother that you are to so many. Yes, and that you walk in that fraternité. And there's one last piece I will share about Andrew.
It's amazing.
You shared this word with me, my darling, when we first met. Yes, you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I do.
Andrew introduced me to this word, and he said, darling, you have sprezzatura. And sprezzatura is this gorgeous Italian word that describes an effortless grace of seemingly making something look so easy, even though you know the years of strife and study and work and hard labor that has gone into it. And so, my darling, if there is anyone on the planet who has sprezzatura, it is you. And I mirror you in that, in the nonchalance that you can bring, and the way in which you drop the kabir and the rumi and the this and the that, as if it's just dripping from your being, which it is, and the extraordinary weft and warp that you are able to create with your magic. And so I honor you as all of that, the human and the divine, the mystic and the scholar, and the real level of humanity that can rise in the face of tragedy and see it as what it was, an initiation through the Magdalene heart. I love you.
You take my breath away. Not for the first time. Thank you, darling. Bless you. Thank you. I shall cherish that so deeply always.
Always, my darling, always. Sprezzatura to you too.
Sprezzatura.
Thank you so
Oh my
much,
God.
Leila, for being with us.
Oh,
Leila
bless
is
you.
going to be back on, Andrew, in a month. We're doing a show dedicated to Mary Magdalene and the wisdom, and Kalila and Eden Amadora and others
Oh,
are going to be with us that night. So it'll be a very special night.
you know, everybody, there are many people who, thank God, are discovering Mary Magdalene, but there are very few who have plunged with heart, mind, soul, and body into the depths of this tremendous mystery that Mary Magdalene is and always will remain. And this one, Sprezzatura Lady, has really done it. An amazing wildlife, an incredible nature of fearlessness, and deep, deep knowledge. So please do have the real joy of drinking from her Magdalene cup. I have only just begun to drink, and it's sent my head spinning like Sybil, what she's able to do. Do you remember Sybil in The Exorcist? Amazing
Well, likewise.
wisdom
We've been
and joy.
spinning each other's heads and hearts.
Well, that'll be a wonderful, wonderful night. And that's
Thank you.
October 18th, which I think is 4 weeks from tonight. So thank you so much, Kalila.
Blessings.
I see
I'm
Stephen
so
Dinan
wonderful.
just joined us. Stephen, we'll be with you in a moment, but we have one more guest before we bring Stephen on. And it's a soul sister of a shared experience. You met her briefly during kind of our green room. It's my friend, Sandra de Castro Buffington, who also lost her home in the Palisades fire this year. And she is she is the embodiment of sacred activism, Andrew. Her life, as I've learned so much about her, is all about really being of service to others. So I'm glad
I
that
know.
I
I
could be
remember Sandra so well. Hello, darling.
Hello, Andrew.
Hi, sweetheart.
This is such an honor. I am going to speak from an inner place. I have nothing prepared. I am just here to honor you and to walk with you through the fires. We both lost our homes. You lost your beloved cat, and I lost my beloved son. Not in the fires, but 10 months prior. And it has been, and is still, such a transformation. I may never understand it here, and that is okay with me. This is a soul journey. Andrew, I met you at the 2009 UN Climate Change Conference in
God, yes, absolutely.
Copenhagen.
Oh,
In Copenhagen, and I got to hear you speak. I was so deeply moved. I'm going to tell you some of the things that have changed my life, but I want to tell you, we had a side conversation, and you asked me what I did. I told you a little bit about it, which I'll share a little bit in a minute. And you looked at me and you said, "You're a secret agent. You are a secret agent," you said to me. And it made me laugh. I am a secret agent walking on this planet. And, you know, part of that, and now let me get to how you've really changed my life, because I also got your books after that meeting when I returned to the US from Copenhagen and started reading about sacred activism and the way that you were framing this. You know, I had been walking through life with a sacred connection and a spiritual practice. That was part of me. The other part of me was being an activist in this. And the two could never really meet. In my meditation circles and in that sacred environment, there were not many activists. I'll say that.
right, of
You know,
course not.
there was some deep practice, but there was a lot of talk, but there wasn't a lot of doing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then on the doing side, on the activism side, I absolutely could not mention the sacred. You know, I
would do my practice before I would get out there and do my thing, but I would never talk about it. It was covert, not overt. And I think that's what you picked up on, and you said secret agent. But just as you articulate in your books, what happens to the activist who's not grounded in spiritual practice is burnout. And I walked through a dark night of the soul. And that was right before I met you. I think, yeah, the year before I met you, I'd gone through the dark night of the soul. 3 family members died in 6 weeks, there and other things. There was a lot of transformation. And I stepped out of my activism work. And I had this soul call that I didn't understand, but it was almost like a call to remember something that I used to know. It makes me cry. Something I knew so deep inside of me, but I needed help in becoming conscious of it. And you're one of the people who helped me become conscious of that call. And, for me, the whole thing led to the absolute requirement to tend to my inner self first. That's the number one. To connect to power. We all have our language for it, but to spirit, and let spirit work through me, not through the efforting that comes from the ego. It is spirit coming through me. That's revitalizing. That isn't draining and burnout. There's a difference. So I had to get these things in order. And I had to keep going. It wasn't that I didn't get to stop. And listening to the soul say, do your part to unite East and West. I mean, these are the big headlines. Do your part. And I have that inner yes, and then how, and then the total template download. So I knew exactly what to do. And I knew, and it was so joyous. I knew it would happen. I knew I had to raise the money. I had to put the whole thing together, but it had been given to me in such an exquisite way that there was no question that this work was going to come alive and that it was going to unite. In my case, it was India and the US, and also Africa came in. But I have a very deep tie to India. So like you. Anyway, I wanted to be less of a secret agent. I wanted to be more just myself and let that be okay. And, your teachings have given me a way to do that, and a way to talk about it, and sometimes not talk about it too. That's okay.
Yes.
Sometimes there's too much talk. I'd much rather, sort of be the change, like, put that in action. Let me just, I wrote a couple of notes when we were talking, but back to the fires. My home burned to the ground 9 months ago. My whole town burned to the ground. My entire community. I lived in this beautiful place for 16 years, and in an instant, it was gone. And I heard you say something, not on this call, it was somewhere else. 30 plus years of work burned up. The work's, is still in me, but the physical pieces of it were all there. It's all gone.
Yeah.
And my son, who, crossed to the other side 10 months earlier, everything that reminded me, every gift he gave me, all the pictures, all the photo albums, that all disappeared too. And I felt initially I had an awakening. This was the day of the fires. And I said, you took my son, you took my home, you took all of my belongings, but I'm still here. And I'm free. All of a sudden, I had this sense of freedom. And I went, oh my God, this is what happens at the moment of death. The narratives all fall away. I'm no longer this, and I'm no longer that. It's all gone. What's there is the soul uniting in this joy, this bliss. And I had that, I went, oh, I have goosebumps right now. And then I went thunk right back down here onto this plane, because I had to have a place to live. I didn't even have a toothbrush. And so it has been this journey, and it is not over. It'll be at least a full year cycle to just come to the knowing, to embody all of the change and the loss. And I wouldn't be here if I didn't find meaning or know that I'll find meaning. That's what drives me in this life, is meaning. It always has. I may not understand it now, and maybe I don't have to, but I do have to find some meaning in it. And so that will take time, so I give myself a full year of that, no pressure. In the beginning, I felt, I've got to get a place to live. I got to get it together. I have to know what's happening. And then I thought, no, you don't. You get to surrender it all. Just surrender. And you know what's happened? Just like what's happening with you tonight. So much love has come from community, from people I know and love, and from total strangers. People have come to me, just shared their hope, their strength, their things, their love. And one person is here in the room tonight, and that is Scott. And I'll tell you, the day my home burned to the ground, I saw it on a TV screen. Scott, who I didn't know very well at the time, texted me, "Are you all right? Are you safe?" And he has texted me every single day since my home burned to the ground, expecting nothing in return, not expecting a lengthy reply, not having to fill in, just letting me know, you're on my radar, you're not alone, I'm here. That is sacred activism right there.
Oh, yes.
And, sometimes we think it has to be the big things, the big global change things. That's what I'm into, the big global change things. Sometimes the presence and smile and saying good morning to someone will save their life.
Yes.
It can be that small. It's just that love. And so that's what we're doing here today, Andrew, is loving you. Thank you for talking about
Thank you, darling.
creating space we can talk about love and light and ascension and consciousness and all those beautiful waters we swim in, and loss and pain and darkness and the dark night of the soul, because that's part of it too. And very few people allow the whole experience. And I so appreciate that about you. It gives you the authenticity and the gravitas that makes you real to me.
Thank you.
And I love you.
I love you, darling. I just wanted to say one thing, thank you for your amazing blessing on my life. But I found it's not that you look for meaning, it's the meaning is looking for you. Let meaning find you.
Yeah.
Because any meaning you come up with won't be the meaning. It's so extraordinary, especially after total devastation. None of the old meanings mean anything.
No.
You have to wait in complete emptiness for something you never imagined to find you and reveal itself to you. That's what I found. Does that make any deep sense to you?
Thank you, Andrew.
You are so close to being irradiated by something completely unimaginable. So forget the old meanings, embrace the astounding new, is what I have learned, honestly. And we had such marvelous conversations in Copenhagen, and here we are again. And something I would love to say to everybody. It's not a meaning of the past, it's the meaning of the future that's coming towards us. Let's be open to it.
Thank you for that, Andrew. Yeah.
Thank you for letting me say it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so much
Love to you, darling.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Wow, it was so wonderful.
Love you, Scott.
Love you too.
He's such a beautiful person, isn't he?
Thank you. Well, we have been going to this GoFundMe throughout the evening, and the man who got it all started and made the very first donation is Stephen Dinan. And many of you are familiar with the Shift Network, and Stephen is the man behind the Shift Network. And so I'm really grateful that Stephen is able to be with us in person.
Wow.
And here he is. Here's your friend, Stephen Dinan.
Hey, Stephen. Hello, my dear man.
So much, Andrew.
I
Well,
love you too,
I'm
my
sorry that
friend.
I just was able to join just now, but I sort of tend to be on daddy duty on the weekends. But it's important to be here because, and Sandra, what an incredible, moving, blessing offering you just made. That's so straight from the heart. And I feel like I should also just talk a little bit about the arc of how Andrew has impacted my life before we talk a little bit about why his voice is so important now. Is I was 23 and I'd had something of a spiritual awakening, and I was sort of trying to translate it through like a mental framework in one way or another, more Buddhist. Went to this California Institute of Integral Studies, and Andrew was so freaking fiery and intense and passionate. And I would sit in his classes and just like feel like my hair was getting blown back and my heart was getting like pulled out of my chest. And I'd be like, whoo, just to take it in. He's mellowed a lot, but 30 years ago he was far more fiery, and I feel like he shook me out of so many levels of complacency, little places that I could hide out in my cool mental models. I was studying a lot of Ken Wilber back then and integral theory, and there was just like a way. It was this kind of this liquid fiery heart, just like like a lion kind of coming in after me. And I felt so transformed. It was different than any class studies I'd ever done because I felt like it was a mystical transmission. And it really reawakened me to the power of Jesus and Mary Magdalene. I'd kind of turned away from Christianity, turned me on to Sufism and Rumi, and he really had a profound impact on my life. And we sort of lost touch for quite a bit of time, and I had gotten the download that I needed to create the Shift Network. It took quite a while to get it together and get it off the ground. I had a few attempts where I did not get critical velocity and had to give up for a little while. And once we got to a year or two in, I was like, I have to get Andrew back into this, and I have to really bring him forward. And that kind of became a new chapter where all of a sudden now I was creating the platform and I was producing things for him. And I still felt kind of in awe of him. And I'd always, frankly, have to sort of muster some sort of courage to even host the calls because I always felt a little bit mute sometimes after he would just blast me with one of those prophetic downloads. And so whoosh, I'd be like, cool, amazing. I didn't know what to say. It was like the hardest hosting I did because I was trying to be authentic, but mostly I'd be like, wow. And so, and Andrew I feel like he continued to call me forward in my role as CEO and voice of Shift Network. And behind the scenes, I felt like we kept deepening a friendship, and even more so, like a sacred mentorship where he would really call me out. And sometimes I would get off the phone with him and I'd be like, wow, I mean, it was some of the most intense conversations, but he would really call me out of my shell in different ways. And one of the things that I really admire so much about Andrew is that he didn't stay stuck in the kind of pedestal role where I had him on this teacher pedestal. And we've really transitioned to where he's embraced me as kind of sacred brotherhood and deep
Yes.
partnership. And we had a couple of days together this summer that was just exquisite. Like it was a incredibly liberating, empowering. And it took us like 45 minutes to walk from my office 2 blocks to the place we were having dinner because like, he would stop me every like 10 feet and be like, okay, now you need to hear this. And I'd be like, and he would just blast me with this truth force coming through that was so distilled of purity, of like mystic wisdom that I needed to receive. And he'd also called me into doing the same for him. And so I feel like there's a way in which you've really modeled for me, Andrew, like how to be a prophetic channel to allow a divine voice to speak through you, but also not to be attached to that or to be inflated around that, to be humble with that, to let this power move through you that really can shift lives and open hearts and crack things open that need to be seen. And to do so with like deep humility too. And it's really beautiful to be the recipient of that and to be in
Oh,
relationship with
thank you,
that.
Susan. Oh,
And so I really feel, and we've done more courses with Andrew than any other faculty. And it's not because like that always made the most business sense, frankly. It was more like we need to keep getting his voice out there. And there's all these different facets of a larger diamond that he was articulating and moving through and really drawing upon every major mystical lineage in a way that honored them and called them into a next level of synthesis too, a kind of a global spirituality that is whole and embodied and sacred and reverential and integrates activism and transcendence and it's a magnificent vision of the divine human that is birthing. It is the Christ force integrating all the different traditions, the masculine Christ, the feminine Christ, the sort of the whole enchilada of spirituality pulled together in one really beautiful way. And he's done it with this mandala of books, a mandala of courses. I think we have, I don't know, at least 50 courses or more that he's taught and 40 some 50 books. I don't know how many books he's done, but when you take it all together, it's like this diamond of emergent, global, awakened humanity that is being painted out of all these wisdom streams. And I'm just so grateful that we have been able to bring that wisdom forward, that I've received so much of it myself, and that I have been blessed with your friendship, Andrew, and that you sort of really see me and honor me in a way that goes deeper than I experience almost anywhere else. And so I'm just really blessed and honored to be your friend and ally and partner in transformation. And so, it was, of course, natural that wanted to kick off this campaign for you because in talking to you in the aftermath, it was so clear that this was going to propel you into the next phase of your service on the planetary scale. And so we needed to sort of both do the repair work financially of what needed to be repaired and also the blessing of what is still to come, and that those two things are part and parcel of the whole thing. You've been freed to be the highest synthesis of all your work, to be the embodiment of all you've taught, and to really go through the flames and come out as the gold of awakened divine life. And so I think this is your time, and you are the prophetic voice that we most need right now, I believe. And so I see this fire as a divine blessing that is calling you into your planetary service on the next level. So let's pour our energy behind that. There's really no better place to put some money if you want to have an impact on the future of humanity, putting money behind Andrew's voice and presence and initiatives. There's so many beautiful ones that we've talked about, and that I'm sure you've talked about some here tonight, or you can talk about more of them. But it's there's a way in which so many people have been touched by your books, by your presence, and this is also an opportunity to offer a sort of a consecrated blessing back of gratitude to say, this has been a hard initiation for you, and so we're going to help you through this. And it's been amazing that we have $213,000 of blessings that have been poured upon you as a result, and it's a sign of how many people you've touched, and how many people recognize that your voice is really even more needed now. So, Sandra's voice was incredible. There's so many people who are going through devastating losses, and to have a voice that can speak to the arc of that from a spiritual perspective and how to go through the arc of a devastating loss or initiation into the shadow or a real dark night of the soul and come forward on the other side with the gold of realization, of service. And that's a very important teaching for this moment as we face some of our most intense collective shadows. And so you have been a incredible guide and voice and brother in showing the way forward. So thank you, Andrew.
I want to read a few of the
True.
comments that have come in. We're going to keep you guys up, and Andrew, but go ahead, Andrew, if you want to express something.
No, I can't possibly do anything but just say thank you, my dear brother and friend, because you stepped in so immediately and with such love, and our brotherhood is very profound. And I know that together we're going to do some absolutely amazing things as we go forward. What a joy to be with you.
Stephen, stay for a moment. I want to read a couple of the comments that have come in. We're getting hundreds of comments, both on Facebook, YouTube, and of course in our Zoom room. Carol Craig writes, Stephen Dinan is also a sacred figure we are so blessed to have in our lives. For a quarter of a century, Stephen, you have had an impact on my life. The Shift Network is an amazing platform, and I'm grateful for your contributions to my evolutionary journey.
Oh, very sweet.
Sue Barnum writes, Stephen, I appreciate your words about Andrew blowing your hair back with his intensity. Remember him like that as well. And Andrew, thank you for the friendship and mentorship over these many years since she met you in India. This is Sue Barnum speaking. And there's just so many.
Bless you and thank you, darling.
There's a wonderful poem that somebody wrote from you. Shoshana Bourne has written a poem for you, and I think we'll have her read it towards the end of the show. And I do want to go once again to the GoFundMe, because as we honor Andrew, let's honor him with green love. And again, thank you so much, Stephen. I actually first learned about Andrew's fire by receiving the note from you about the GoFundMe. And thank you to everybody who's contributing. And it's really cool to see how many people are contributing.
So sweet.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
everybody. God, look at this. Thank you.
Yeah. So everybody, if you go to GoFundMe, put in Andrew Harvey, and we also have put the link into the chat box. And Stephen, we have a lot of your Shift Network people on the Awakening World. Last week, Hope Fitzgerald was on, and we were promoting her Shift Network event. And one of our favorite luminary musical artists, we always have musicians playing. And one of our favorites is Rhea Mana, who's going to be doing a whole program for you. So Rhea has just joined us in
soon, yes.
Room. And she's going to be doing a whole program for Shift Network, which is going to be wonderful. And
congratulations.
Welcome, Rhea.
Elaine Kalila Dowdy also, yes. Hi, Rhea, beautiful. You're next.
Yes, and Stephen, so nice to hear your beautiful words. And Andrew, such an honor to be here in your presence and meeting you.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I found your book, Teachings of the Christian Mystics, probably in 1998 when I was just beginning my search. And it was profoundly impactful to realize that there were people who walked this earth, who experienced the presence of God and who lived for it. And that became the purpose and the inspiration for my path. And the music I write is imbued with that love I have of the divine and those teachings of the holiness that lives within us. And seeing you here today in this moment and hearing some of what you have gone through, my fervent prayer and wish is for you to feel the wholeness, the blessing, the joy of the Holy Spirit emanating from your heart, and that you live in the fullness where there's nothing lost, and that anything that you have lost be restored to you. And
thank you so much.
And there's a
Thank
song.
you.
Oh, it's my absolute honor. And there's a song that came through recently, and it speaks to this holy nature of our divine vessel. And it felt appropriate to sing it for you because with the work that I've seen you do in the world, it seems no better honoring than to give back to the teacher that which he has spent his life living. And I see you as this beacon of light and a dwelling place for the Holy Spirit to move through this world. So it would be my honor to share this song with you that speaks to the holiness and sacredness of our body temple, of our world, and through our words and through our love, may the sacredness be realized upon the earth. My body is a church, my heart the living altar. The forest is my temple, the mountains are my oracle. My body is a gift, adorned with sacred pathways, like the trails that lead to fertile fields and flowing waterways. My body is a church, holy and miraculous, as is the world around me. The waters are my sacrament, the ground beneath my feet is as hallowed as it gets. Oh, creation singing praises to life immaculate. Beautiful, beautiful, this blessed life I call my own. Beautiful, oh beautiful, this holy ground I stand upon. My body is a church, the place I go to worship. The forest is my temple, my heart is how I connect. My body is a church, my soul ordained by the Most High, in service to the intelligence of the great architect of life. Oh, love pours through the fabric of all of space and time, and we hold the magic that makes the world divine. Beautiful, oh beautiful, this blessed life I call my own. Beautiful, oh beautiful, this holy ground I stand upon. Beautiful, beautiful, I am. Oh, beautiful, oh, beautiful, I am that I am.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Oh, beautiful.
Thank you. And may you be blessed, and may all that is yours be restored to you, and may you be filled with inspiration and blessings and love and new opportunities and new
Thank you.
resources, and may your path ahead be laid with the grace of God.
May all of your singing enchant souls open. Bless you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rhea. And people can find all of her wonderful offerings, including her new upcoming course with Shift Network, at her name, Rhea Manna, Amanna. And a lot of our global peace strivers have taken her Songkipu school, and I know it's changed their lives. So thank you so much, Rhea. We always love having you on the show, and the chat box is exploding with appreciations for you right now.
Thank you, Scott. And thank you, Stephen. My upcoming course in the Shift Network is Singing to the Earth, recognizing the holiness and sacredness of the earth and how we restore it through the power of our voice. And also looking at science and scripture that relates to this idea of an army of singers that has the capacity to shift human consciousness. So we're going to create this unified field to anchor new earth energy through our voices.
Amen.
So much luck. Amen. Oh, singing is my chief joy in life. I'm passionate about singing, especially opera. So what you're doing is thrilling, really
Oh,
thrilling to me.
amazing. Well, maybe we can sing together sometime.
Oh, you wouldn't want it, but if you we have to do it privately, so.
Oh.
You can sing and Andrew can dance. He's a wild
Yes,
dancer.
I'll dance.
There's two comments that just came in. Janani wrote, Rhea's devotional songs have brought me back to God. And Karen S. writes, her Songkeeper's School has been life-changing for me. So I do encourage people to really check it out and take the course with her if at all possible. She's a blessing in her life.
Thank you so much, Rhea. My God, what beautiful work.
Thank you.
So necessary now.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for your inspiration. You helped me on the path.
I'm honored.
Well, speaking of the voice we all need to hear, now the time has come. Hopefully we have gifted you with some love and appreciation, but now is our opportunity to hear your voice, Andrew, and what you'd like to share with your friends that are joining with you tonight.
Well, my darlings, would you just excuse me while I fill my glass with apple juice, because it's been a completely wild day and I am overwhelmed with gratitude and I want to be able to give really my best to you. So just excuse me for 1 second.
Take your time. It's a good opportunity for us to go back to, once again, the fundraiser for Andrew. And it's right here. We're putting in the chat box, but I want to acknowledge everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. Please do donate. If you go to GoFundMe.com, just click in Andrew Harvey and it comes right up. And I'm really appreciating all the donations that are still coming in right now. Thank you very much, everybody. And again, thank you, Stephen, for getting this started. I'm going to bring Stephen back on for a moment. Thank you so much for starting this and really helping Andrew in the many ways that you do through the Shift Network and through this fundraising.
No, it's been a pleasure, and I've been amazed at how people have shown up. So, I mean, because oftentimes it's easy. There's so many things pulling for attention, and just the number of people who have made donations has just been amazing. It just it's been steady. There's just people keep coming, and it's really so touching and moving.
Yeah, well, Andrew's earned it. He's definitely earned it, and that's what we do on this show. We always do fundraising. We've done fundraising for many different people over the years, and Carol Craig points out it's up to $214,000. It's been raised. It's fantastic. He's back.
I'm back. Well, first of all, my dear friends, I am overwhelmed with gratitude and joy and sprezzatura, as my friend Elaine would say, just to be with you all. One of the great gifts, and there have been so many amazing gifts of what I've been through, is to finally break me free of my Britishness. I prefer to give than to receive. I'm better at giving than receiving. And what I've been compelled and invited and challenged and overwhelmed enough finally to do is to bask and receive the love of all of you and the help. And this has been a transformatory experience for me, because the work that I've been given to do has been an intense and frightening and extremely demanding work that has taken me into desert after desert, into solitude after solitude, into sometimes very great financial difficulty, sometimes very great horror and sense of absolute dereliction. And to know now at this time in my life that all of that was worth it, and to feel in your love and in your appreciation of what I was able to give heals many wounds and calms my soul and prepares me for all I want to give in the last part of my life. At this moment when the world is facing its most extreme evolutionary transformation. So thank you. I'm happier, more joyful, lighter for having had everything taken away, including my inability to receive, my disbelief that anyone would ever turn up because it had been so long and so hard. And what I'm living now is a freedom and a delight that I always had at moments, but now is almost permanently installed. What happened on May the 2nd when my house burnt down and I lost the beloved of my life, my cat, who was far more than what you'd think of as a cat. She was everything to me. She was my child. She was my wife. She was my muse. She was my playmate. She was my healer. She was my initiator into embodied divine love. And she was the most beautiful and noble and serene being that I have met in my life. And we had a very deep and ecstatic love affair. And when I stood over her body, which was thankfully unburnt by the fire, and saw her dead, I actually died. And I can't put it any other way. It wasn't just grief. It wasn't just agony. It was the death of one whole life. When I saw the flames belching out of my studio, it was raining, and in front of these strange people who were looking at me rather horrifiedly, I just fell to my knees in the car park in the rain and said, "You can take everything, but please don't take her." And I knew as I was praying that she had died and that I would have to face it. And it wasn't, when I say dying, I mean dying. I mean losing everything. Papers, I lost. The paintings, the money. I'm an old veteran of hard knocks. That didn't mean much to me, not really anything to me. But what devastated me was the loss of a mystical soul companion, a beloved of beloveds, and the loneliness and the grief killed me. But at that moment, and I'm telling you this not to dwell on that experience, because I know many of you have shared that experience in your lives. You know what it is to lose the one that you would build the Taj Mahal for, the one that it's all been for. And at the very moment that I died, this light force violently entered my body and I felt ecstatic, just as Sandra described. And it wasn't the numbness of trauma, it was, I knew, the beginnings of a real naked experience of everything my whole work had been dedicated to. It was an experience of direct transfiguration. And it had come, as it is going to come and is coming in the world, through shattering annihilation. And that annihilation, as we all know, is now everywhere. It's in the growth of fascism in this country, annihilating the American soul, it's in climate collapse, it's in the millions animals facing extinction, it's in Europe potentially on the brink of nuclear war, and Gaza and Gaza and Gaza and Gaza every day on our screens. And it's in all of our direct consciousness more and more as we all wake up to the fact that the crisis is much deeper, much greater than even prophetic beings like myself and many of you knew it would be. For years, I talked about, because I'd experienced the beginnings of it in my life, the way in which a dark night crisis births a wholly new level of divine humanity in you. But nothing had prepared me for this, both in the extent of the savagery and in the extent of the amazing grace that descended and continues to descend and continues to transform my life every single day in ways that I cannot begin to describe. And what this has taught me is that the teachings I gave you, for which you honor me so beautifully, are real. They are a real map to a real process which works through the ferocious union of immense, extreme opposites, annihilation and transfiguration. And that this experience I'm living confirms what all the great evolutionary mystics have told us throughout history, and all the great shamanic prophecies, and all the great beings on the earth now who know where we are telling us. And that is that we are in the birth canal of a new humanity, a new creation, and that we must align with the truth of that, even if we're not completely living or experiencing it, because that is the only way we will not only thrive through the greatest shaking we will ever grow through, but also become receptive to the downpour, the descent, the avalanche of divine grace that is coming towards us all, that came to me in that room. And I want to read you the great poem of Kabir that describes this process I lived, and that the world is living at the deepest secret mystical level, and that so many of you have spoken of, because this is the meaning of what we're going through. This is the meaning we need to align with, embrace, embody, enact now, with everything we are urgently, because we are going towards the moment in which everything could become so destructive that the possibility of being transfigured in this way may not anymore be given to us. So here is Kabir. Kabir, the trainer of the Special Forces of Evolution, and my beloved, the Everest of mystics. You don't know anything about love's savagery or glory, until it kills and rebirths you in the same moment. Agony and ecstasy fuse in one silent, visceral scream that explodes you forever. Sublime heartbreak burns you to ash, and a great wind of love comes and sweeps up the ashes and fills all the worlds with the utterly burnt one. What my work has always been about is finding the great yes that can counteract and thrive and inspire and transfigure us in the face of the great unprecedented no that is ranged in ferocious and terrible battalions against us. The great yes that we can build inside the depths of our minds and hearts and souls, and inside the depths of the cells of our body, to give us divine peace, power, passion, brilliance, creativity in the face of an unprecedented conflagration and configuration of massively deranging and potent dark forces. From the collapse of the environment to the tsunami of an robotizing AI, to the massacre of millions of species, to the creation of a system which thrives on the desperate poverty of millions of people, to the destruction of the systems that connect the soul to its origin. We have created a machine of annihilation out of our hubris and domination and cruelty and madness and stupidity and vanity. And we all know it. However we deny it, however we ignore it, however we pretend to ourselves that we've got the power to transform it, we all somewhere know that we have created a monster that's coming towards us to tear us apart and eat us and annihilate us. And we're terrified in our dreams and paralyzed in our will and deeply, deeply shaken and in great pain at what our ignorance and our lack of heart have made possible. But the message I want to give to you tonight is that this is not the end. This is the ultimate challenge to us, which we have to rise to, and which I believe we will rise to. And that is to fuse in our being the two greatest streams of courage and revelation that we have ever been given, to create a yes that can rise like a wild, holy lion or lioness in us, and give us not only the strength to go through this next period, not only the passion, the energy that we're going to need, but the immense creative intelligence, because it can only come from the fusion of these two streams. The one is the stream of sacred activism, the commitment to put love into action and guided sacred action on every level. And the other is the great secret at the heart of all of the great mystical traditions of the world, which is that the ultimate goal of the creation is not to be liberated from it, but to appear divinized from within its own divine heart matter and represent the dream of God, which has always been that we, humanity, should become divine and be able in divine mind, heart, soul, and body, in transfigured whole being, to unite with God and co-create with God and each other in rapture and equality and passion for justice and divine ecstatic joy, a wholly new way of living and a wholly new world. And everything I am going to do now, because I'm experiencing, having done my best to fuse these two streams in my own being, and having been rewarded for that agonizing and gloriously passionate effort that I was driven to do, as so many on this earth are. I'm meeting them all the time. I'm not unique. This is the new being. And I was rewarded for that by the greatest imaginable grace of being annihilated and resurrected, because despite myself, I'd done the work. And that means that now I am begin to be born in the next level of evolutionary life, as hundreds of thousands of people are being born. Some are known, some are hidden. There are many, many, many of us. The birth is here. It's in the middle of the madness. It's in the middle of the death. It's coming through the death. And it needs all of our attention. It needs us to align it with it, and it needs us to support it, and it needs us to welcome its intense demand and beauty nakedly into the depths of our lives right now. Because it is the essential meaning of everything, of the whole of our human history, which has brought us to this moment in which we will either choose to go through whatever we have to go through to incarnate and embody and co-create with our brothers and sisters this emerging, mysterious, fragile, wild, holy birth in sacred activism and in deep inner practice to unify body and soul. We'll either choose to do that or we will die out. But if we choose to do that, we will be given by God, as I have been given in these last 2 months, day by day by day, friendship by friendship by friendship, $10 by $10 by $10, conversations in the streets, miraculous encounters, shining synchronicities. We will be given what we need to go through the apocalyptic fire, carrying the grail, which has the wine of a new humanity in it and the wine of a new creation. And this is not poetry. I'm in a dreary, anonymous little hotel room speaking this to you, and I can feel the flames of love inside me, in you, in this situation, in the path that is opening before us right now, all of us together. No more gurus, only friends, pioneers, helping, sustaining each other, like Stephen has sustained me, and Sandra, who knows what this path is, has championed me, and so many of you. And Scott, and so many of you, because we know it is our time to come together with all of our expertise and skill in this enormous new hope. And we also know something, which is that we don't know what the path is. completely. We cannot know, and it doesn't matter, because all you have to do is to experience it in your whole being from its truth. And this next step will appear, which when you take it with the same truth, will engender the next step, and that will continue. If you think you know the path ahead, you're out of your fucking mind. Because the path ahead is made by the passion and the truth and the sincerity and the depth and the courage and the nakedness with which you take the next step, which quantumly engenders through holy magic the next step, and to reveal a path that opens up and up and up and up, and in ways that are far more miraculous than any of even the greatest of humanity's mystics has ever imagined. That's where we are. Unimaginable horror, unimaginable grace. And our duty, but much more importantly, our joy, is to strip ourselves of our vanity, our belief we know, our amazing brilliance, and just open with everything we are and go forward together, utilizing all of the voices, all of the skills, but doing so urgently, because the time is now. And if you don't see that, there is nothing that Rumi Kabir and Jesus, all together with napalm poured on their heads, could say to get you to see it. It's obvious. Don't be afraid. Great miracles are coming. Align yourself. Give everything you are to the great birth. Gamble everything, as I have always done, but I'm going to do with much more chutzpah and sprezzatura and God knows what in the next part of my life. For us all, and with you all by my side, I hope. I've been inventing a wholly new life in the last 2 months. And what's going to happen in my life is that I'm going to ground it in where I was born. I'm going to go back to India. I'm going to go to Kashmir, where I have found the most wonderful group of passionate, brilliant young people who have been forged in the fire of a long Gaza, terrible suffering, but have never lost their faith and are brilliant and funny and loving and wild and know where we are and are prepared to be loving warriors for a wholly new world. And together, we're going to do two things. Very soon, we're going to unleash a website, Worldwide Wanderers, which is going to inaugurate all kinds of sacred experiences all over the planet. And I won't say any more about it to you because it will be launched soon, and I will make a video, and I hope Scott will be thrilled to send it around and to come with me and all of you on these experiences. But the point of the Worldwide Wanderers is to bring the funds and invite the people who can help us establish a sacred center for the birth in Kashmir, in the mountains, because of their infinite holiness, and because Kashmir was a place where Hinduism, Buddhism, Sufism, Christianity met in an explosion of mystical passion for 7 centuries and left this enormous, potent, sacred energy. And that center is going to be called the House of Nothing. And it's going to be for all people, all beyond all religions. It's going to be a place of freedom where all the healing modalities, all the philosophies that are really contributing to the birth, and all the authentic teachers. One thing about the life I've led is that I've met the authentic teachers, and they've already said, and they're going to come and they're going to teach, and we're going to record, and we're going to help people all over the world as we go through the next level of atrocious crisis, keeping our eyes always on the sun of the great birth and pouring out all the linked forms of knowledge and love and experience together that will give humanity the inspiration for that birth. So that's the vision. It's already started. And when you donate, my beloved friends, you're not donating just to restoring this old guy with sciatica back to some kind of decency where he could die. You're actually helping someone who has been reborn, rebirthed, given the map for the next step, realize with amazing people all over the world who love me and whom I know and who are with me and who are themselves authentic teachers of the birth. No more gurus, no more unique prophets, lovers, wild men, holy people turning up as brothers and sisters to create an amazing new possibility out of the horror of the old. So you'll be contributing to that. And I hope, my beloveds, that if you followed me this far and supported me with all your love this far, that now you can see in the person in front of you that all of your patience with my Michigas has been worth it, because, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is the time I was born for. This is the time I was killed for. And this is the time that you are helping me right now get going. And I want to end with a Kabir poem, and I want to read this for Scott, my beloved friend, whose heart has always been so open to me and who gives so much with such dry, deep, sweet grace to us all in helping us all. Thank you. And let's be allies in this great adventure. People are coming from all over the world to the House of Nothing, which is in cyberspace, and we'll get going. I've been giving all kinds of amazing introductions to it and helping people understand it, and all kinds of people are joining in the passion to build it right now. This is Kabir. When you know he is living not only in your mind and heart and soul, but in the cells of your body, that you are entirely blessed already, for you are made of the substance of his eternal light. When you know this, because the experience of it never and cannot abandon you, even for a moment, then you know only one duty: to live it as gratefully as you can, to do everything you can, to help others believe without doubt that this amazement is also their secret, and to act incessantly, inwardly and outwardly, in the name of making its miracle real in every realm of the burning world. Whatever happens, whatever others believe or say about you or receive what you offer, whether the world transforms and survives or not. I know I am divine. I know I'm eternal. I know you are. I know this birth is real. I know it's being born in me and in so many other people. There is nothing else for us to do but to give our all resources of mind, heart, soul, and money, and brilliance and intelligence together to co-creating it with massive, wild generosity right now. And if we do, we will experience, all of us together, what I'm beginning to experience. And you can see it, you can feel it. A tremendous freedom, a tremendous joy, and a tremendous certainty far beyond reason that the game is far from over. In fact, the real game is now beginning. So I love you. Let's do this together. Let's tune each other. Let's dance. Let's give much more than we've ever thought of giving. And let's believe what is here is real. Thank you.
I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment, and let's just send our extraordinary love and appreciation first, just energetically, holding the vision for Andrew's great sacred next chapter, safe travel to India, his next step. And absolutely let us know, Andrew, what you're doing.
Come with me. Come with me.
Absolutely. We will ride with you into the
You're essential. We can't do this alone. You are the ones we love and we want to do it for and with. It's a dance together, isn't it?
Absolutely. As Stephen just said, you are a blessing for us all, Andrew.
Thank you.
There are so many comments, and I'll send you the chat box, Andrew, so you can read it.
Oh, bless you.
Let's all right now, the two things. Here is again the fundraising event for Andrew and for his holy, sacred vision that we all want to be a part of. Please contribute. Please contribute. When Andrew first came into into our Zoom room before the show started, he suggested a piece of music that he wanted us to play. So I'm going to play this music. It's a wonderful.
7 minutes.
Anything you want to say about it, Andrew, since it was your suggestion?
No, I'm sorry, my darling. I just wanted to say, look, this is transmission from a broken, wild, holy, grand African-American woman, Marva Wright, being through everything, the Black Madonna, singing, "What a Wonderful World." And it moves slowly, so let it soak, and then you'll see what happens. And it's the last part that is the cry of the birth, the scream of exultation at realizing that the birth is real. Let it pierce you and expand you.
Here we go.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds so white, brightens the day, yes, and dark, sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They learn much more. I'm afraid I'll never know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Ladies and gentlemen, the colors of the rainbow, so pretty in that sky, also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. There's much more.
Oh, Andrew, you know, the power you feel in hearing her voice with that amazing song is the way we feel listening to your voice as you carry us forward. It's the same level of profound respect and appreciation for a voice that we need to hear at this time. Thank you.
Bless everybody. Thank you for giving me such love and courage. It's been amazing. Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go to gallery view one more time where those who have their cameras on can just send love and appreciation. And thank you, everybody, for being with us tonight. Thank you to all of our presenters. And there's so many wonderful things, Andrew, written in the chat box. I'll send you the chat box for you to just kind of enjoy. And
thank you, darling.
Absolutely. We love you so much.
I love you back.
Wow. Well, this is where we usually do our Global Peace Tribe announcements. Two that I want to mention. One is that for those of you that are new, that maybe are new to the Global Peace Tribe, join us. This is a great time to come on board. We are about to start our autumn season. And so when you register, you're going to get the Zoom room links to all of our shows for the rest of the year. We do 2 shows per week. We do a show every Wednesday night, a show every Saturday night. And honestly, every show is beautiful. Extraordinary people, amazing musical artists, amazing luminaries. So just go to globalpeacetribe.com. globalpeacetribe.com. You can click and learn more about who we are and what we do, and then click register for the new season. That'll take you to our registration page. You can register. It takes about 1 minute. And we welcome all of you, all the new people that we're watching, and maybe some of the people who've been with us in the past coming back. And there's going to be a lot going on in San Diego. So I just want to remind people that in a couple of weeks, Omar Shar and myself will be in San Diego for this amazing retreat, September 27th and 28th, the San Diego Transcendent Retreat, Bliss on the Bay. There is a really good discount code for that, and amazing people. Many of the people you see on this show regularly, like Daryl Anka, Bashar, Sarah Brexman, and of course, Ellen Steinfeld, Shelley Reef, Tangela. So do join us in San Diego. And if you're going to come to San Diego, and you want to stay for the very, very special event that's going to be taking place, our beloved Omar Shar, who we're about to hear play a final song for the night, is doing a concert. Imagine being live in a concert with Omar Shar and me and a lot of other Global Peace Tribers. Well, it's all going to happen on Monday night, September 29th at the Vision Center for Spiritual Living in San Diego. So I really hope to see you all coming down for that. And since we are speaking of our beloved Omar Shar, we're going to close the evening the way that we always started, with our beloved Omar Shar, my co-pilot, house musical artist, and his dance partner, Desiree. And now for Omar Shar, there he is.
Here I am. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Good. If I just put, I'm not too sure what happened with the first song, but please always interrupt if it's rubbish, because I can always stop and reset it. And Andrew, dude, you've blown pretty much everything in my mind and heart open. Thank you so much for, in New Zealand, they would have said getting rid of the dags. Some of you will know that. I won't say what that's about. However, thank you so much. I love you even more than I thought that I knew in the first place. So, hey. Yes. All right. Are we good?
You sound good so far.
Yes.
when you feel like giving up, when you feel like letting go, living in this ever-changing world, when it seems that all is lost and you don't know where to turn, the future seems so very far away. So just know there really is a plan. The sun will always shine, and with your hand in mine, all heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. So when it seems that you're alone and the fears knock at your door, remember I am just a breath away. You are my brightest star, you've just forgotten who you are. Remember there is nothing in the way. So just know there really is a plan. The sun will always shine, and with your hand in mine, all heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. So when you feel like giving up, when you feel like letting go, remember I am just a breath away. And just know there really is a plan. The sun will always shine, and with your hand in mine, all heaviness fades away. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day. The love in our hearts will melt the darkest day.
Yes, it will.
Perfect. As always, just amazing how you do that, Omashar. Let's give him a big twinkle.
I feel like a grain of sand tonight, because what has been shared was so profound, so huge, so massive. I don't know if anyone really, well, I cancel clear. I think I'm speaking for all of us. So it was profound. Thank you, Andrew. And thank you, Scott, for inviting Andrew. And thank you, Stephen, for doing what you do. Holy smoke.
You know, I really want to encourage people. This is a really good show to share with people. So definitely all of you who are subscribers, you'll get the recording sent out. If any of you are wanting the recording, you can easily find it. If you go to, it'll be up on our YouTube channel tomorrow morning. Just go to Global Peace Tribe, YouTube, think Global Peace Tribe, and it'll be the very top of our channel. Or you can even go right now into Love Coach Academy or Global Peace Tribe or my Facebook page and grab it that way. But this is really a show to share with others. And of course, as you share it, please do share the link to where people can support our beloved Andrew. Thank you very much, everybody, for a beautiful evening. I recognize there were so many wonderful things that people wrote. And Shoshana, I see you raising your hand. She wrote a beautiful poem. And so save the chat box, everybody, because there's a lot of wonderful things in there. And I'll be sharing the chat box with Andrew. Thank you. Hope to see you this Wednesday night. We have another wonderful show coming up on Wednesday night. And until then, tomorrow's Sunday. Let's make it a sacred Sunday by choosing to see the devotion and the divine in all.